So while I've been out here in Thailand for the past 2 months, I've been riding motorbikes just all over the place, right? Different islands, through Bangkok, just different types of places, just zooming motorbikes around with my girlfriend's brother. And it's been absolutely exhilarating, right? I've never rode a motorbike before in my entire life since coming here. In the UK, I've never rode them before. The most I, was riding was a pedal bike or an electric bike or something along those lines. So, we came out here and started riding these motorbikes and I thought, okay, this is good. It was an automatic motorbike, which basically just means when you're accelerating, the faster that you go, the gears change automatically. You don't have to do anything other than just accelerate and brake. And that's it. That's an automatic motorbike. Very, very easy. Pretty much anyone can ride it. It's very easy, right? So I was riding this bike, and we're having races and stuff, 100 kilometers an hour, and I'm competent on it. I'm very, very good on it. It is literally just like riding a bike. However, it's a little bit heavier. That's kind of the only difference, right? So I was already pretty much used to it. For a beginner with only let's say a month of riding, I'm very, very good at riding a motorbike. However, I then went out to kind of like the outskirts of Bangkok. It's kind of like the countryside area in Thailand to visit my girlfriend's uncle and just her family and stuff like that. I'm out here with my girlfriend, obviously. So we're gonna go visit her family. We went there and turns out they've got loads of bikes because their uncle fixes and repairs motorbikes. I'm like, oh, sick, this is amazing, because I'm like addicted at this point, right? I'm like, this is so fun, I love it, I just love the feeling of peace and liberation as you're cruising down the road on a motorbike. It's something so blissful about it. So I hear bikes and I'm like, yeah, I'm coming, let's go. So we turn up and it turns out the bikes are actually manual, which I'm like, oh, I've never rode a manual bike. I've driven manual cars before, so I understand like the gear sticks and shit, I understand how it all works, but I've never rode a manual motorbike before. So we get here and I get on the bike and obviously to start the engine, it's not usually to start an automatic motorbike, you hold down the brake on the left side, put the key in, turn the key, and then there's a button underneath the right brake and you just press that button and it starts the engine. It's so easy, it's like a video game. Manual bike, you get on the bike, there's this little like gear thing, you got to kick that down really hard first to start the engine. Then you got to put the key in, turn it on, kick the thing down, boom, the engine starts. Then you got to put it into first gear. And on the other side of the bike, so obviously you imagine you're holding onto the handlebars, you've got your feet on the bottom as well, and they're resting there. To change gears on a manual motorbike, you need to move your foot and tap the gear. And the gear's at the bottom, where the wheels are, right? So you tap the gear and that changes the gear. So you get on the bike, boom, turn it on, kick the little thing down until the engine starts. Right, nice. Shift it into first gear and you start accelerating, you start riding the bike, just like normal, okay? So this happens. We're riding, this is about, I don't know, midnight at this point, something like that. Maybe it's a little bit less, maybe 9, 10 p.m, I don't know. But it's nighttime, the roads are completely clear, nice, beautiful, open roads in Thailand. And me and my girlfriend's brother were just zooming down here, 100 kilometers an hour, we're going fast. And I'm dodging all the bumps and shit. Competent, I'm very, very good. I got used to it quite quickly. Nice, this is good. Now, the only thing I wasn't used to, and here's where the story comes in, okay? As you can see here, I've got some scuffed bandages right now. This needs to be taken off. It's actually peeling right now. But, I've got a massive fucking hole in my arm. It looks like a bullet wound. Genuinely, it looks like a bullet shot me in my elbow. You can see the fat and the tissue and all the tendons inside of my skin. Like you can actually see down through the deeper layers of my skin. That's how, you can actually see it. It's a full-on hole. It's not just like, oh, I grazed my elbow and I'm crying about it. It's a fucking hole. So, that happened. I'm grazed up all over my back here as well. You can probably see skin absolutely torn off me. This was sunburnt as well prior. This is the thing, bro. I've not been given a break on this holiday at all. God and the universe is really testing my mental strength, fucking hell. Because, I always preach about mental strength and going around, think positive and all this stuff. It's easy to think positive when the sun's shining and everything's going right and you're making thousands of pounds every single week. But can you think positive when everything's falling apart? When you've got holes in your elbows and your skin's tearing off and you're having panic attacks and old traumas coming back up and all this shit. Can you stay positive then? That's when it really matters, right? Because what's the point in having a positive mindset otherwise? So God tested me, the universe tested me, whatever I choose to believe in. I'm not religious, but I do believe in a higher power. And I've certainly been tested. I've got loads of grazes all over my legs as well. I've full on head to toe. I'm battered, bro. Luckily, I've got all my fingers, didn't lose any limbs, still got all my nice pretty face and my teeth and shit, so I'm chilling. But here's what happened, right? We're zooming. My girlfriend's on the back at this point. I come around, pick my girlfriend up, we go for a ride, we're zooming, everything's fine, right? On the way back, we're zooming back again. Now, I like to go fast. I'm a risky person. Everything I do, from when I trade and I make money in trading in the markets, I take a lot of risks. business, I take a lot of risks. I dropped out of college, school, quit my 9-to-5 job, took all of these risks to start this. I like taking risks. It's fun. It makes life exciting. It gives me that emotional stimulus that I'm chasing, I guess you could say. So naturally, riding motorbikes, I like to take it a little bit risky, and I like to speed and just have fun with it. Now, this is completely fine. I'm not saying don't do this, but you just have to be aware of where you are and the situations, what's going on around you, situational awareness, right? And risk management. Now, there's one particular time, I've never been on this road before, and I've never ridden a manual bike before. So these are two things I should have said to myself, hey, listen, pipe it down a little bit, calm down, be a bit more cautious, be a bit more slow with things, don't just go zooming off like, yeah, this is easy, relax. I should have done that. But I got a bit cocky, and I got a bit like, yeah, it's kind of just like an auto, it's fine, other than just changing the gears, I'm all right, I'm competent, I'm good. So I'm speeding, girlfriend's on the back. As we get to the corner of where I'm supposed to turn to go back down this little dirt road back to the uncle's house, I'm approaching the corner. I'm looking at the dashboard at this point as I'm zooming down this just narrow, straight, open road, right? No cars, nothing in front of me, I already checked. So I look down at the dashboard real quick to just check what gear I'm on. I'm on like gear 4, gear 3. I'm like, okay, I've got to change the gear back down because I'm going to be going slower down this dirt road to go back to the uncle's, right? So as I look down from the dashboard and I look back up again, I'm like, oh shit, the corner's right there. The corner that I'm supposed to turn to get onto the dirt road. So I'm going fast at this point. I slowly start pressing the brake, I turn the corner, and we're going fast still. So as I'm turning this corner, we're still maintaining that speed, that momentum's still there. So I'm going fast down this dirt road now, right? I then notice literally a split second, bro. This all happened instantly. And this is how crazy life is. There's a lot of lessons you can take from this in a second, but life can literally completely change in an instant. There are so many other realities that could have happened that night, and this one happened. So I have to analyze now as a responsible adult and as a man, how did that reality happen? Because this is obviously unideal. I don't want to be walking around with a fucking hole in my elbow, and obviously I didn't want to injure my girlfriend. That's unideal. That was a mistake. That's a failure. I don't want that reality. So I have to analyze, how do I then prevent realities similar to that happening in the first place? And obviously I've done a lot of learning from this process, like I do with everything. So I've learned from it, but came around this corner, and as I'm still zooming, right, trying to slow down, pressing the brake, slowing down, there's this hole in the road. It's not even like a bump. It's not a speed bump. This is like out back fucking dirt roads, by the way, bro. Like, there ain't no speed bumps around here. There's just holes and shit in the road. There's a hole in the road, and I notice it, and as I'm coming up to this hole, split second, right? I'm trying to change the gear before I even notice this hole. So I'm trying to change the gear back to gear 2 or whatever the fuck I was trying to get it to. And because it's manual, I'm like not really used to it. So I'm a little bit unbalanced as it is. I'm unbalanced. I'm going a bit too fast down this road. And then there's a hole in the road that I look up from the gears, notice it for a split second, and I'm like, shit. Now, obviously, I don't want to go over this bump full speed. It's not only going to fuck the bike up, which wasn't mine, but also it's not going to be very comfortable for my girlfriend who's riding on the back, right? So I kind of panic for a second, and I press this brake, and I fully press it. Now, what you should never ever do, whether it's a car or whether it's a motorbike, if you're zooming and you fully press the brake, it's going to make your tires spin out. You don't want to do that. You want to gradually slow down, okay? But obviously in this moment, if it's an emergency situation, it's either you've got two choices. You either just go zoom over the fucking bump full speed, or you just try something to minimize the damage, which is what I tried to do by pressing the brake fully to halt the bike. Now, of course, I'm still a beginner. I'm only maybe 1.5 months of experience riding motorbikes, right? And I'm in an unfamiliar territory. I have no idea how the roads work here and all this shit. So all of these factors into play. I'm unbalanced. I was going way too fast. I'll hold my hands up and admit that I should have slowed down way before that. I should have been more aware of the actual road around me, so I could have noticed the corner way in advance and slowed down to prepare for the turn rather than like panic turning. There's so many things I could have done, but I didn't, right? And I'm here now in this reality because of that. All I can do is just try and learn from it. You cannot live life and go through life and be perfect. You can't live life and be like, well, I have to get every single minute detail correct. Otherwise, I'm less of a man, otherwise I'm a failure. You're going to make mistakes, you're going to do stupid things, you're going to take risks, and sometimes they're not going to work out, and you're going to get the backlash of that risk. That's just how life works. Now, yes, learn from it. Yes, take what you can from it, but don't be like weird and OCD about it and be like, well, I'm never going to ride a bike ever again. Or when I ride a bike, I've got to make sure that I'm like, really meticulously considering every potential thing that could happen. how are you going to live an enjoyable and present life if you're thinking like that? You're not. So of course, mistakes, accidents, these bad things are going to happen. You can't avoid them forever. You can't live this like safe, even if you sit in your house all day forever, never ever went outside because you're scared of the world and you're trying to keep yourself alive as long as possible. I guarantee you, if you sat in your house long enough, something would happen still. You'd still have some sort of accident. You cut your finger when you're cutting fruit or something. Something's going to happen. It's just life. It makes it exciting. It gives you stories to tell. It's an experience that you've gone through. The reason you listen to me for 10 minutes straight is because I've got these stories to tell. I've gone through life. I've lived. You know that I've lived. You can meet me in person and be like, yeah, this guy knows what he's talking about. Do you know what I mean? He's lived life. Now, yes, it's unideal. Learn from it. Now, what happened was, as I approached this bump, or this hole in the road, pressed the brake, and obviously the tyres started spinning out. So, and I'm unbalanced as well, which weight distribution, not good. So the tyres started spinning, it's unbalanced, bike started crashing, slams us down. I land down first, okay? And then my girlfriend lands on top of me. Thankfully, I took the brunt of the fall, hence why I've got a massive hole in my elbow and I'm absolutely battered from head to toe. It's because I landed all here. This is all sunburn and this was ripped open as well. So this was skin that was healing from sunburn and that was just absolutely ripped open too. On this side as well, as you can see. So yeah, I got absolutely battered. But it's what it is. It's an experience, it's a story to tell, laugh about it. You know, now I'm disabled for a little bit. We're just sitting in the house and healing, and I'm just trading instead, making thousands of pounds from my laptop. So, you know, such is life. Things happen. So I landed, smashed down, girlfriend landed on top of me, and we both kind of just looked at each other for a split second, almost in like disbelief. Like, there's no way we just crashed. There's no way that just fucking happened. And I was more pissed off at skill level. I was concerned for her, but I was like, how the fuck did I crash? How the fuck did I fail that? Like I like to be a very competent individual. I like to be a professional. So if I make a mistake, I'm very hard on myself. That's all I was thinking about. And obviously you get the adrenaline. The bike's on top of us at this point as well, like crushing us. And I'm like, oh, get up to my girlfriend. She's like, I can't. And the bike's on us. So I lift up gradually with what strength that I had. One hand, lift the whole bike up, and then boom, we get up. And then everyone starts running. This puppy came out of nowhere and started to see what was going on, started sniffing shit. All the Thai locals ran over and started checking if we were okay. My girlfriend got like a little motorbike lift back and I just walked back. But bro, all I felt in that moment was pure adrenaline. No pain. Even now, it's not even that painful to be fair. I've got a hole in my elbow. And I thought, you know what? If I was to think about this situation happening to me before it happened, before I experienced it, I would have imagined it to be so much worse and so much more painful and scary and like unbearable than it actually is. And that's a very valuable lesson you can take, is life is never as bad as your mind thinks it's going to be. It does that to endure emotion in you, to keep you as safe as humanly possible. But when these things actually happen, like if you was to tell me, yeah, you're gonna have a hole in your fucking elbow and you've got to peel this bandage off and like you put antiseptic in it, it's gonna absolutely sting, it's gonna kill, you can literally see the fat tendons in your deeper layer of skin. You know, if you were to tell me all of this shit, I would have been like, oh, that sounds unbearable, that sounds fucking horrible. Oh, I don't know if I could be able to do that. But when you're actually going through the moment, you realize your mind and your body has and does everything that it needs to do. You don't even need to try, it just does what it needs to do. It's very, very fascinating and powerful how in the moment when these things happen, your body and your mind, getting notifications, go away, just do what they need to do. The adrenaline kicked in, didn't feel no pain, so then I could get back successfully, take my girlfriend back, we could successfully get away from the danger zone. The human body is incredible, bro. We got back, cool, antiseptic in all the wounds. I was sat there like I've been shot or something, bro. Hopefully I'll put the pictures in the thumbnail of this video, you can see them. It looks like I've been shot, or I've been in a gunfight or something, or I'm in a war zone. Like that's what it looked like. It was mad, blood everywhere, you know, like they put salt in the wounds, antiseptic, cleaned it out, bandaged me up. My girlfriend's brother, he's only 16, but absolute G, patched me up like a doctor, and he's proper professional, proper good with it, so shout out to him. But yeah, man, we went through all of that, and I remember there was this time last night actually, when I was taking off a bandage. This one needs to be changed, it's been on all day. I was taking off a bandage, and of course we have like a full-on, you know, life school that you can find down below in the description for only $1.60 per day. We teach things, anything from attracting women to making money, all the way over to combat effectiveness and health and, you know, wound healing and shit like this, like natural stuff. So I use the information obviously we teach inside of these schools to heal myself up as quickly as possible. And this has gone from a literal full-on hole to practically healing in just over one night, which is insane. Now, there's certain protocols you can follow to do the same thing. And I'm not even talking about just externally, internally as well. You want to heal your internal body. You want to heal the things that are going on in your gut that cause acne, that cause stress, that cause disease, that cause infection. You can do that inside of my school down below. But back to the point, I was ripping this bandage off. Now, of course, I fucking killed, but again, breath work. We teach breath work inside of my school. I just did some deep breathing. I did certain breath techniques to trigger adrenaline in my system, in my nervous system, and also to trigger the parasympathetic nervous system straight afterwards. So I can literally alter and control my nervous system and my cellular regeneration in real time, just using my breath and my mind and where I focus it. Very, very, very powerful technique. So I did all of this, and it made the pain a lot less worse. Ripped the bandage off, boom, obviously slowly. You don't want to undo any healing that you've already done. But the reason we put bandages on, we don't just air heal. There's loads of different myths about this shit, but you can do both. You can leave it to air heal if you want, but if it's an open wound like that, as you can see, I've got scratches and shit on my back. They're not really open wounds, so to speak. They're just grazes. They don't really go down into the deeper layers of skin. You can just let these air heal, doesn't matter. But if you're air healing it, obviously the air around you is dry. There's more airborne bacteria that could cause infections, and you don't want that. So the reason we put a bandage on is just to moisture the healing process, and also it speeds up the cell regeneration, so the white blood cells can come in, it can regenerate the damaged areas, kind of like little paramedics that come to the rescue in your body to then heal and put together the cells and the skin tissue and the scar and the scab and everything else that's required, whatever kind of wounds you've got, to sort yourself out again. So we have a very military level system inside of our school that teaches you how to do, well, everything you need to do to live a good life, to live like James Bond. We teach you that. So I ripped this off, and I seen this massive hole in my elbow, and I was just looking at it in the mirror. And I don't want to gross you out by keep showing it to you, but I was looking at it in the mirror, and I was just fascinated by how the human body does all of this shit. Like, I've just went through some physical trauma. I'm not traumatized. I'll be back on the bike again in no time. But, physical trauma, the body's been traumatized to a degree, right? It's caused stress to the nervous system, to the cells, to the body. And even after all of that, the body just cracks on instantly and just heals itself. Well, it's wild. It's absolutely insane. It just repairs itself. Before you know it, that'll just be a scar. I've got a scar on my wrist here. Don't know if you can really see it with this lighting, but right there. That was from a fight. Some guy bit me and just gouged on my fucking wrist, and then it's bleeding. But that, again, I didn't go to the hospital, no doctor. I just cleaned it with water, put a bit of antiseptic in it. Plaster, done, job done. The body does the rest, and it heals, and it puts all of the skin tissue and everything else that's needed. And it just does it all by itself. So I was looking at it, I was fascinated. And I was thinking, it's crazy because beforehand, we're scared of life. What if that girl rejects me? What if the business fails? What if I get laughed at? What if I get judged? Everything seems 10 times worse than it actually is. But when you're actually going through it, like I said before, you either adapt or you die. Your mind and body are honestly so resilient, so resilient. The only reason why a lot of people are not very healthy and strong in terms of the way they operate as a human being is because of the shit they put into their body and the shit they surround themselves with. Your body was meant to live forever. You weren't supposed to die. You're meant to live forever. That's a story for another fucking day. That's too deep for a lot of you to even comprehend. However, I was looking at this wound, fascinated by it. Wow, this is amazing. The body can do this. And it clicked in my head, and I realized, you know what? I'm okay. I'm fine. We worry so much as human beings, but when you're actually going through it, you're all right. We're scared of heights. Let's use this as an example. I don't really like heights very much. They kind of scare me. I'm not scared of heights. I've done a lot of things at height. I used to work a 9-to-5 job at height. I used to have a zip line job. We'd send people down a zip line, bro. I'd be standing on this platform at a height. So I'm used to heights. I can manage the fear. I can control the fear. I can get over it because of the mindset that I adopt, that I also teach in the school. But point being is, let's use heights, right? You may think, I'm so scared of heights, I don't want to do anything. And it's stopping you, that fear is stopping you from living certain aspects of your life. I really want to go skydiving, or I really want to go the world's largest zip line, or I really want to go on this in the air obstacle course. I want to do these things, but I'm scared. So fear literally holds you back from living reality the way you want to live it. So what you need to understand is the fear of it may happen is worse than the actual experience of it happening. That's what's so ironic. You're scared of it happening. You're scared of falling from a height. However, the current experience you're going through of feeling fear, like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, what if this happens, what if that happens? That's worse for you to physically and emotionally and mentally experience than if you actually just fell off something. Do you know why? Because if you fell off something, let's say you're walking on a tightrope or something, you fell. For whatever reason, you were not strapped onto anything. Just free tightrope over a Grand Canyon or something. And you fell off this rope. Do you think in that moment, as you've slipped and the panic's, and your heart's dropped, the adrenaline's kicked in, the panic's set in, the cortisol's released, the norepinephrine in your system's released, all of these chemicals and hormones that have released to get your body to respond to the current situation that has been dealt with. Do you think in that moment, as you're falling to your death, you're going to be thinking, oh my God, this is so scary? No, you're just going to be like, and before you know it, it's done. That's it. Like, life is so simple, but we overcomplicate it with our own minds. So we need to make sure we keep this in check. Because with this in check, you can do absolutely anything. And there's a way that you can do that I'm going to explain to you in just a second. Now, very interesting point. Since I've been here in Thailand for the past 2 months, I've been through so much shit. Trauma, PTSD, anxiety attacks, panic attacks, physical accidents, sunburn that's turned into blisters, and then the blisters will pop. It's like one thing after the other. Minor shit, major shit, but it's always something going on. And I thought to myself, why am I trying to run from these things? Why am I trying to run and, not accept these negative, painful, suffering things? Why am I trying to do that? Because I feel like it doesn't align with my expectations of what life should be like. And then I start to think to myself, yeah, but your expectations are based upon ignorance. You don't know. You don't know what life's going to hold for you. You don't know what life's supposed to be like. You just have a way that you want to live. And you have to choose and decide to live that life regardless of what you're going through. I want to be a happy person. I want to be a positive person. I want to be someone that makes a lot of money, that's free, that, takes care of his loved ones and has a very, very good life. I want to be that person. So no matter what I'm going through in my physical experience, I'm going to decide to be and act and think and speak and act and everything else like that person. You understand? Because what's the alternative? You live your whole life being controlled by the external events, being controlled by life, the weather, this disease, this thing that happened to you, this accident that wasn't your fault, whatever. All of these things that happen. If you have two choices, life is so simple and so binary. Either you allow them to control you because you think, no, it's not what I want it to be. You start spazzing out like a baby. Or you think, you know what, it's not what I want it to be in the perfect ideal world. But perfection and idealism doesn't exist anyway. It's not real. It's a fantasy. So I need to look at my current situation, analyze the chessboard and the current position that I'm in, and decide with all the knowledge and expertise and experience and reflection of the current experience, who I want to be in relation to this. That's what you need to do. And when you can do that, you can be successful for the rest of your life and happy for the rest of your life, no matter what's going on, because you're always in control of your own mind. So to end, I want to end with a nice little mantra that I like to live by myself before I go and hit the gym. Yes, I'm still going to the gym, even as a injured man. Look at that, man. I'm a fucking warrior, bro. Honestly, I'm hard to kill. I can't even tense my arm, but I'm hard to kill, mate. Even from birth, I was born 3 months premature. Had to be on an oxygen tank to breathe. Survived all of it, completely fine. Here to this day, healthier than most individuals. I've got the healthiest heart I could possibly have. Incredible. Hard to kill. So the one thing I'm going to say to you is, if you're not moving, if you're not doing something, you're dying. Life, again, binary, up, down, that is it. Even if you're in situations like this where you're feeling sick or you're ill or you're going through some trauma or some pain or something that's unideal, you're going through some shit right now that you don't like. And you would think, I just want to go back to normal, right? Even amongst those situations, you need to be present, you need to be grateful for them, and then you need to decide to just keep moving and doing what you can. I can't go right now and start deadlifting. I can't, maybe I actually could, Yeah, I could probably pull it off with really lightweight. I'm just that guy. I can't tense, but... Point being is I can't really do the normal workouts that I would like to do. But what I can do is I can just go for a walk on the treadmill, set it to the maximum incline, and just walk up the fucking incline. Get the heart pounding, get the blood flowing, get the oxygen going to the lungs, right? Bit of cardio in there, get the body fat down. Been eating good in Thailand, so, I've got to get rid of the belly. And there you go. I've done something. I'm still going upwards. Even if it's slower than normal and it's not what I want it to be, it's still moving upwards, and that's still a win. All right? So you have to keep that in mind. Look after yourselves. Join my School of Life if you need any assistance in terms of making money, attracting women, traveling the world, network. You want to meet new people. Maybe you've already made some money, but now you're just sick of being around brokies that don't understand your way of life. Sexual mastery, we've got absolutely everything in there. How to heal a wound correctly in a way that doesn't require pharmaceutical industries and all this kind of shit. We're on it, right? COVID, you know, there's certain things, vaccines, you know, you want to detox from that shit. It's not supposed to be in your blood. We've got your back. Join my School of Life for a little over $1.60 per day, and I will change your life. Let's go.